All right, it's County Mosley of HBCU Legends on Sports Illustrated. I'm here with, man, he's not HBCU, but he is now HBCU. He's a former NFL superstar, and he's bringing his energy and his passion to HBCU Go's kickoff show with Tolly Carr and Miss Jasmine McCoy. Is none other than Trey Boston. What's going on, Trey?
How you doing, boss man? Appreciate y'all having me. Like you said, man, I'm in the landscape, loving it, bringing it all, everything I can, man. You know what time it is.
Oh man, I've been checking you out, Trey. You know, you bringing the energy and you bringing the sound voice of reason to what's happening with the football players. But also, I noticed you've been loving those homecomings, man.
Woo! Hey, listen. We got to talk football. But for me to be able to be involved with those homecomings, man, you have to take advantage of that. To be able to be inside the culture, be inside with everybody who takes so much pride in going to HBCUs are talking about. It is their own. It is something that is, I'm talking about, unbelievable. Hey, yeah. Alabama A&M set the tone last week, but this week we're at Grambling State. And I'm going to say, the yard started off today pretty good.
Look, you know, there's none other than a great scene to be in Grambling, Louisiana, right? Yes. With all the legendary guys who've come from Grambling, like Doug Williams, James Shaq Harris, right? And also the legendary Eddie Robinson, who, you know, he helped so many of these young men just cultivate their skills, their abilities, but help them to be great young men. And if you have a chance to go to that museum, man, you have to check it out.
Already been.
Tell me about it. What's your thoughts?
And so listen, for this week's Trey's Unstoppables, I went inside the museum. I took Andre Jones and just went around seeing what it means to be at Grambling State University, as well as learning about what Coach has been able to do. Coach Eddie Robinson putting over 200 players. I'm talking about in his time into the NFL. That is unbelievable. Over 400 wins, passing Bear Bryant in wins. I mean, Coach, man, to be able to do what he did, even his impact on what we see from marching bands at halftime started with Coach Robinson putting his own money to 17. Hey, he said 17 instruments, all we need. Bottom, and that first started what we see is that halftime of the marching band sensation, especially here with that world fame marching band. So, man, so much history when it comes to Grambling State. Doug Williams, again, spoken for. First black Super Bowl quarterback, as well as winning the MVP. Man, special. You wouldn't talk about quarterbacks like Randall Cunningham, Michael Vick, Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson without talking about Doug Williams first. I'm so glad that a young quarterback like Jaden Daniels is able to have a Doug Williams around him in Washington, because I know it's making a big impact on him. This school, like you said, is full of rich history that people must learn. They have to know about, because this is where it all starts.
Yeah, you know, it's almost like you're in the cradle of black college football, you know, where it all began. But, you know, so many other legendary figures that you're going to be exposed to when you get your trips around the country with the kickoff show as well. But to think, like you said, over 200 guys made it to the NFL due to Eddie Robinson. But also think about this, man. He, like you said, he has a Super Bowl MVP to his credit, but he has Hall of Famers to his credit as well. And a lot of these guys have gone on to be able to have successful lives after being a part of black college football. So let me ask you, from an NFL standpoint, and you played the game at a higher level with so many talented people. When you have an opportunity, and I know you may be looking at the play of each individual team a little bit differently. How do you assess the talent that's out there at this time?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm looking at techniques. You know, one thing you can see physicality. You're going to see the body type, but I want to see whose technique is going to outshine others. Man, is this kid good at hat in hands, ripping off finding ways to get off the block. Does this kid have a tenacity that says, I'm going to impose my will on others? Those are kids who you can see it translate on film, and you see that, hey, if we can get them at the next level, that might be able to coach those guys up in the right way. So for me, I think you just got to evaluate knowing that, hey, technique can go a long way if you can get it to these guys early.
Oh, man, that's great. A lot of times, especially with Doug as well as James Shaq Harris, when they put on the HBCU Legacy Bowl, it's about the skill factor. And a lot of the NFL scouts and talent evaluators haven't really said, I'm buying into what HBCUs have to offer. We've only had a few kids over the past couple of years to be drafted, but behind the scenes, a lot of these guys have been signed as undrafted free agents. And they're making their marks right now. You know, we just had last week Terrell Jennings. He was elevated from the FAMU guys. He went up to the Patriots, and he was playing in one of those games. And we have Xavier Smith over at the Los Angeles Rams. He's another FAMU guy. He's elevated as well, and many, many others. And you look at what James Houston IV has done with the Detroit Lions. So we have the talent. We just have to cultivate it and teach the techniques a little bit different.
I want to also say this. This is a big deal, and I want to be able to give my 2 cents on what I see.
Gotcha.
We have this show, HBCU Go, the kickoff show, because we are trying to highlight and show love and give exposure to these young men. If we don't love on ourselves and talk about these young men to a maximum where people are going to respect that, they're going to continue to devalue our young man. They're going to know how good they are. But if we don't put value on these young men, they're going to continue to slip through the cracks while these NFL teams know, oh, if nobody talks about him, we'll get him in free agency, knowing exactly the type of kid he is. So for me, to y'all, to us, we have to continue to put a light on these children, these kids. I mean, listen, these are young men. These are young men, and we can really do the pumping up for them. That means we have to have fans inside their seats. I mean, listen, the tailgate scene is unbelievable. But if we only knew what it would mean to put our butts in those seats, get a packed out stadium, now people see revenue. Now you're seeing packed out stadiums for 4 quarters, not just halftime. We have to be the ones who care. Nobody's going to understand how much you care or care about how much you care until they know how much you care. So for me, to all of us, we have to continue to put that light on these young men. And we're doing a great job with this start. But hey, we're going to take it to a whole nother level. So it's a great when we have to come together and we get to say stuff like this so people can put their eyes on these amazing players and give them the respect. And a lot of these guys are 4 stars, 5 stars, coming from different institutions. Today, Andrew Jones was a 4-star, the 3rd highest Memphis recruit ever behind D'Angelo Williams. So from me to y'all, there's some ballers all over the spectrum. We just got to continue pumping these young men up because they got the talent, they got the smarts, they got the brains. We just got to continue to put light on them.
Wow. That's a great ringing endorsement from you, Trey. And as well as you guys got to remember, Trey played several seasons in the National Football League, so he knows what he's talking about. Now, Trey, you came from North Carolina area, right?
Yes.
And then you had a chance to go and play in North Carolina professionally with the Panthers as well. What have you seen thus far? Has there been any differences from seeing the East Coast guys to what's happening down in Deep South?
No, I would say, again, I put it on, there's talent everywhere. You know, there's great coaches everywhere. There's so many good ones that it's like we have to find a way to tell these stories. If you don't understand how good these coaches are, where they've been, how they've been deep rooted in HBCUs, whether they've played for HBCUs, whether their fathers played for HBCUs, they find a way to take care of their own. So for me, man, I love the way HBCUs all around the spectrum, no matter where you are, you can find ballers, you can find great coaches, you can find the culture. We just have to find them and put them on display.
All right, cool. Talk about Grambling. They're playing their homecoming.
Yeah.
And they have a up and rising team in Pine Bluff that's rolling in, and Alonzo Hampton and his crew, they're not taking any prisoners. They don't care who they're playing. They're trying to win those games.
Absolutely.
And you have Mickey Joseph. This is his first season as the head coach of the G-Men.
Yeah.
How has it been just meeting with those guys and getting to learn a little bit about what's happening at Pine Bluff as well as what's happening at Grambling?
Yeah, let's start with Pine Bluff since we just finished talking with them. You know, we were able to cover the Southern Heritage Classic, Pine Bluff playing Tennessee State. Mekhi Hagans was my Trey's Unstoppable player of the game. He played lights out, wasn't able to get the win. But listen, after that game, him and Giovanni Gibson have been on a terror. We're talking about first in the SWAC in passing and receiving for Giovanni Gibson. So for me, when you have a Mekhi who has over 17,000 yards right now, 1,700 yards right now.
If he had 17,000, Trey, we would be talking about a different guy.
Boy, be in the Heisman race, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Good old Doug Williams, baby. So for me, that 1,700 is huge. 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. You heard me, 3 interceptions, taking care of the ball. You need ball security. And then you have, Gibson is 9 touchdowns. He's only 62 yards shy of 1,000 yards in 7 games. Those two guys together are causing nightmares. I wonder if the boys will be able to sleep tonight knowing that they have to stop them. But then on the other side, I'm just talking defense, Grambling defense. They got Andrew Jones, Brendan Barley. Those 2 linebackers have played exceptionally well for their team. Can they set the tone for the front 7 and back 7? I mean, you're talking about Barley, who has 3 interceptions. Andrew Jones, 7.5 TFLs, leads the SWAC in tackles. I mean, these guys have ballers. But both offenses, Grambling State being number 3 and number 4 being Pine Bluff, you're going to have to come with your A game this game. Miles Crawley is my go-to player of the game. Listen, why? He's only 3 yards short of 1,200 yards. He has 9 touchdowns. But what worries me, why he's the go-to player of the game, is if he does a great job of taking care of the ball, they can win this game. He has 6 interceptions on the season. I don't care what you did in the past. If you can do your job tomorrow when this game happens, you can get the job done for your team. They have the playmakers around, but can he take care of the ball? When Pine Bluff, when they get the ball on offense, they're looking to score every single time. So don't give them extra opportunities. Don't give them turnovers past your 50-yard line. Do not give them extra possessions. And that could be the recipe for Grambling winning this game.
Oh, man, that's an excellent breakdown. Because if you look at what you say with Gibson and last week with Prairie View, when they had to have somebody to make plays to kind of turn the old Mo into their favor, he was the guy. When they had to have somebody to kind of extend that final drive to kind of put it Prairie View out of their misery, he was their guy, right?
Yes.
So it was great to see how much confidence Coach had, number one, in his quarterback, and his all-star wide receiver. That was excellent. Then you look at the G-men. If you look at, like you said, Miles Crawley, a few weeks ago back in Texas Commerce, I think that was a pivotal game for those guys to be able to come back and win the game, first tie it up, then win it in overtime with a walk-off interception. Excellent job that they had. Gave him a lot of confidence in what he was doing. So, this is a close game, closer than a lot of people anticipate. But it should be a baller, right? Yes.
Hey, look, it's going to be one that people look forward to. And I haven't given who I'm going to go to. My prediction's going to come on the show. But I might have to sleep on it still tonight, man.
This is it. Our last night sharing a room. Tomorrow we'll be in our new home.
They told you buying a home would take years, but didn't help you start. Still, you kept trying.
You'll have a yard to play in, a place to dream.
Hope makes it happen. With tailored mortgage solutions, Hope Credit Union makes home ownership happen for thousands of people, regardless of income or credit. Brighter futures begin with Hope.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So this morning, I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event, taking a test drive. When Dave, the sales guy, is like, "You're gonna love this." He shows me the best-in-class fuel economy and lets me know it's recommended by Consumer Reports. When Dave says, "These cars are going fast," I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000, like Rogue, with 2.9% financing for 60 months.
Hey, sweet new gear. It's like Best Buy hooked you guys up.
Pretty sick, right?
What is that?
That's our traveling trophy. Oh, that's what's up, man.
Ah, a goat for the goats. Fits these pro-level setups.
Last year's trophy.
Not a goat.
Nope.
What if you could get all the latest and greatest gaming gear from one place?
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Come to McDonald's and treat yourself to the Grandma McFlurry today.
All right. Well, good. Trey, how do you play a guy and defend a guy like Javonte Gibson?
Yeah, I mean, he's a big receiver. He's about 6'3", 6'4", over 210, 15 pounds. I mean, you're going to have to find ways to double him or maybe even have to run cover 2, put a ceiling, put a roof over what he can do. Because lately he's been taking teams up top. I mean, listen, he's a big-time deep threat. You get the ball in his hands, he can make it work. So for me, on defense, I want to put hands on him. I'm not afraid. I tell my young men, we're going to put hands on him, affect the release, make that quarterback look the other way. And then after we put hands on him, hey, we're going to have a roof over you. We're going to take care of you. Don't get spooked.
Yeah. All right. Trey, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay. All right. Good. Kind of lost you in a quick second. But look, man. Oh, this is not your fault. You know, let me ask this question of you. You come from professional football.
Yes, sir.
Right? Naturally, you have the personality. You have a great personality anyway, right? How has that transition been for you going from just playing ball, loving ball, and now you're on air as an analyst helping to break down teams and break down film and everything else?
Yeah, well, while I was playing my 4th year in the league, I started doing work with NFL Network. I ended up doing 20 live episodes with them, total access, another show that I was doing live for them. And after I was done with that in my career, the very first call I got was from ACC Network to, hey, Trey, we want to give you a TV show. So really? I worked on ACC PM, which is a flagship show, Monday through Friday, 4 to 7. Then I was also traveling on weekends. After that, or actually during that, I got the call to have the TV show with my wife on the Weather Channel, renovating homes hit by natural disasters all over the nation. So that was 2 seasons of Fast Home Rescue. So for me, I've just been putting all type of shows and portfolios because I don't just want to be brought down to just NFL analyst or just football. Man, I could do it all. I know what I'm capable of. I want to be seen as a Michael Strahan guy who has so much more to him. So for me, when HBCU came calling, obviously Byron was the owner of the Weather Channel. I wanted to be able to do them justice. If you're going to get this started, I want you guys to start this the right way. I want somebody who's going to be passionate about these young men. I want somebody who, when I go meet with these young men, and it's their very first time they're ever interviewing for something as serious as a segment on them, that they know that they can trust me, and I'm going to give them questions that are layups. Be yourself. Have fun. You're dealing with somebody who's been there, done that. I am not the type of guy to make you look bad. I'll only give you my best, and I'll protect these young men as best as I can. So for me to be able to do this job, it's God's work. God has done everything for me in my life. He's the one who's placed me through every job I've ever had. So for me to be able to be here today is a blessing to shine light on these kids.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Man, you got me motivated. And right now, a lot of young people, they want to know, how do I break through? How do I get into it? And I've even had some of the young ball players who, after they graduated, they didn't get drafted, but they found other opportunities. And I love what you've done to be able to find that other opportunity and utilize your natural gifts that you have. But the show with you and your wife, man, it's pretty interesting how you guys engaged. That was pretty cool. And I'm glad that what you guys have done is taking this to a new level and another level, that showing young people that they can get into media in different, like you say, in different facets and be able to be successful. All right, Trey, last thoughts, man. When you look at HBCUers, and we got several more weeks going down until the Celebration Bowl, right?
Yes.
Who are some of your top teams?
Whoo, man, I think we're really just getting into that swag play. You know, I think teams like Grambling are at their mid-tier, but they can finish up tough. Pine Bluff, another team, they found ways to win games lately. Again, their offense is tremendous right now. Can they hold themselves on defense? Jackson State, we know what they can do, what they're capable of right now. Believe they're 4-2 if I'm right.
Yes.
So for me, Jackson State can continue to build on what they're doing. You never know who's going to come up with these last few games, but if the guys can take this serious, the SWAC is still wide open to me.
Yeah, definitely, because Jackson State and Florida A&M, they play this weekend, tomorrow at the Vet, and that's going to be a barn burner. So that should be a good one as well. All right, Trey, tell everybody how they can be able to follow you on the World Wide Web.
Yeah. I mean, you can follow my foundation at Trey Boston Beyond Belief Foundation, TBBF.org. Or you can follow me on my, Twitter, Instagram, Trey Boss, TREBOS 10, Boss 10. You see how clever that is? Hey.
I like that. Well, man, Trey, you continue to do a fantastic job, and I love what Tolly and as well as Jasmine, you guys have done a great job. I like how Curtis has assembled you guys and made this kickoff show or something very, very special and very, very necessary for HBCU sports lovers. Thank you very much, man. That's Trey. You're welcome. That's Trey Boston. I'm Kyle T. Mosley. Trey, have a good weekend.
Thank you, boss man.
Take care. Bye.
All right.
Hey, it's Jared. Let me show you how I created my dorm room vibe for less with Amazon. I have tons of different clothes. I have some pajama pants, more pajama pants. People say I have too much. I don't really listen to people. I love to journal. I got my gratitude journal, I got my mantra journal, and I got my 5-minute journal. And I got a package from Amazon. Let's see what we got for today. This is perfect. This is my journal that I journal about journaling. Dear Diary, I wish I had more PJs.
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
When I push, I feel good. When I push, I feel good. When I push. You better move. I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
You have Marching Thunder, basketball. How many years for you have you been a part of the Rockets organization?
56.
56 years.
Coming up, 56 this year.
So all you know is Rockets.
Yeah, that's all.
I first want to ask you just about the evolution of the game, right? Like, we know it's cyclical. It used to be inside out, the big man mattered. Then it was all about the perimeter and the three. Tell me about the evolution of the game and where it is today.
I don't like it. First of all, I'm going to tell you why I don't like it. It is no longer a sport, it's a business. And they're making rules and regulations governed on dollars and cents. And who am I to criticize? I mean, the NBA has gone to another level financially. I mean, with this TV contract, these players are making the money. You know, one player is making more money than the whole league made when I played, you know. But so the game has been governed by what the public wants to see. They want to see entertainment opposed. And I grew up with the competitive part of the game.
Right.
You know, but they would rather see a fantastic dunk and a Curry three-point shot than see the purity of the game, the passing, the middle distance game, the inside out. You know, when you start having 7'5" guys shooting threes, now the game has gotten to the point where it's a money-making show opposed to a purity of a sport. I got a problem with that.
Yeah, I think people who have watched the game over the years probably feel similarly in terms of there's not really the plays developing. I mean, you may see that more in the women's game.
Well, that's a good point that you just brought up there. I like college and the WNBA better than I do the NBA now because you see purity in the game itself. You know, they got middle distance. You know, you can sit there and watch them set up the offense and run it through. You see the defenses that are being set up there that are trying to stop the Kaylee Clarks now and things of this nature. So that's the kind of game that I grew up under.
Yeah.
You know, that type of thing. And in college, you know, they still, of course, it's still a coach's game, where he controls things of that nature, but yet when it goes out on the floor, you're recognizing the sport.
So let's talk about where the game is today. The teams that are leading and have a chance to win. In particular, let's talk about where this Rockets team is. They made a big leap last year. What do you think we can expect from what you know? We haven't even had camp yet. From what you know about this Rockets team.
Well, first of all, you know, I was very elated with their draft choice. Shepard shoots the ball like during my era. You know, we got a lot of scorers in the game today, but we have very few pure shooters. Shepard's a pure shooter. Unfortunately for him, he's got to wait his turn, you know, being a guard or whatever. I've always advocated that we needed the Rockets, you know, I still say we because I've been there 56 years now. They needed someone that's a rim protector. You know, that's the thing that bothers me in late in games where teams don't have any fear taking the ball to the basket against us. But, you know, if you have someone that, you know, a center today only blocks, what, 3-4 shots, but it's about him, you know, the intimidating factor where guys don't want that shot to be theirs that is blocked. So you only block 4 shots, but you change another 15 just by the reputation of having somebody that can protect that basket. So and this is Calvin Murphy speaking now.
Right.
You know, I'm not part of the coaching staff. This is just from my years of understanding the game, what I would love to see. Now, I think the Rockets have done a fantastic job mixing and matching and getting talent together. Obviously, at the end of last year, they came on and everybody started doing the dirty work and everybody started sharing the ball. Everybody started believing. But when you start looking at things realistically, to compete in the West, you've got to your defense has got to lead you. You know, I've always believed, because my game was offensive, and I always thought that, you know, you can outscore people.
Right.
You know, but now when you got everybody that can score, and the game is a faster game up and down the floor, you've got to have somebody to deter some of that offensive thrust that comes at you. Now, you know, when you look at it underneath, you know, Alfie just amazes me. I tease him a lot. I love him to death, but I tease him about his 2-inch vertical.
Right.
You know, and you know, he's always talking about, Murph, you're lucky you're not out here me dunking on you. But the fact of the matter is, he's a fantastic talent, and he's just going to get better and better and better. But he's still not a rim protector. He plays good defense, but he's still not a rim protector. The rim protectors I'm talking about, of course, is I played with Moses Malone. I played with Elvin Hayes. I played against Wilt Chamberlain. I played against Jabbar. I played against Bob Lanier and Nate Thurman, where, you know, and Willis Reed from the, you know, where if you didn't have a jump shot, you didn't score because you went to the basket, you know.
It was over.
Yeah, another quick story. I'm from Connecticut, 40 minutes from the old Madison Square Garden. So my rookie year, we had 25, 30 busloads of hometown people come to see me play my first NBA game in the Garden, right? So, of course, you know, I'm sky high, you know, whatever. And I actually tried to dunk on Willis Reed. Yes, I came down one time on a break, and I went to dunk on Willis, and he fouled me, and Willis said to me, "Something wrong with you, young man? Don't bring that in here. If you score 50 from the outside, cool in the game. But you come in here and try to score on me, you must be out your mind." You know me, old cocky Calvin Murphy.
Yeah.
I'm saying, man, get out of here. So in the third quarter, I'm going to try it again. I come baseline, I go up to dunk. The lights went out in Georgia. And when I woke up, I became the best jump shooter in the NBA because I said, I understand now.
You're like, I get it.
Yeah, I get it. Because big men have their pride, no matter who. And Willis Reed and I were great friends. But ain't nothing personal. You know, his
You're not
wife,
coming in here.
Yeah, his wife and kids are up in the stands watching, as he says, some short individual coming in and trying to dunk on him. During that time, they called us midgets. Like, trying to dunk on him, he couldn't have that. So when I woke up, when my trainer got me with the smelling sauce, I became the best jump shooter in the game. But that's the way the game was played when I was, you know, during my stint in the league. You understood everybody had pride within themselves. So the big men protected that area.
Yeah.
So if you went and did something of that nature, you got hell to pay.
This is it. Our last night sharing a room. Tomorrow we'll be in our new home.
They told you buying a home would take years, but didn't help you start. Still, you kept trying.
You'll have a yard to play in, a place to dream.
Hope makes it happen. With tailored mortgage solutions, Hope Credit Union makes homeownership happen for thousands of people, regardless of income or credit. Brighter futures begin with hope.
Is that your new Nissan Rogue?
Yeah, crazy story. So this morning, I'm at the Nissan Thrill of Summer sales event, taking a test drive. When Dave, the sales guy, is like, "You're gonna love this." He shows me the best-in-class fuel economy and lets me know it's recommended by Consumer Reports. When Dave says, "These cars are going fast," I knew I had to have that Rogue.
Nissan offers 6 vehicles starting under $30,000, like Rogue, with 2.9% financing for 60 months.
Hey, sweet new gear. It's like Best Buy hooked you guys up.
Pretty sick, right?
What is that?
That's our traveling trophy. Oh, that's what's up, man.
Ah, a goat for the goats. Fits these pro-level setups.
Last year's trophy.
Not a goat.
Nope.
What if you could get all the latest and greatest gaming gear from one place?
Time to call a credit repair company to fix my credit. Hold the phone, man. You can do it yourself with Credit Versio. That's way too hard. Call the credit repair company. Most credit repair companies only work on 1 or 2 accounts at a time, making it slow and expensive. You won't figure that out for months. Ignore him. Credit Versio's brilliant software scans all 3 credit bureaus, finds the accounts that are hurting your score, and guides you through the entire process. Anyone can do it. Let's fast forward and see the results. Wow, I fixed my own credit and saved hundreds. You can do this. Visit creditversio.com.
Come to McDonald's and treat yourself to the Grandma McFlurry today.
All right.
Okay.
Kyle, how you doing?
Mr. Rice.
How
you doing, man?
How's everything?
It's my boy, Jerry. How you doing, man?
What's up?
It's so good to see you again, man. Look, I've been
Always,
trying to
brother.
get to you for the longest.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've reached out to your daughter a couple of times, and I wanted to see if I could be able to interview you guys about goat fuel.
Oh, got you. Okay. I'll be able to relay that on to her.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do
but
that.
she never replied.
Her big time. Okay.
Okay.
I'm writing it down. All right.
Okay.
Let's do this, brother.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. All righty, I'm Kyle T. Mosley of HBCU Legends, as well as the Black Sports Insiders. Joining us on behalf of the FedEx Air and Ground Awards is none other than Pro Football Hall of Famer, Jerry Rice. How you doing, Jerry?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me, man. Let's go FedEx. Let's do this.
Definitely. Look, NFL fans can vote every week on the FedEx Air and Ground NFL Players of the Week awards. They could go on X, or they could go on NFL.com, or use the NFL mobile app all season long. Jerry, I understand there's a few changes to the FedEx Air and Ground NFL Players of the Week awards. Can you explain?
Well, man, wide receivers, we back in it. It's about time, man. I'm serious. Wide receivers and tight ends, and it always been quarterbacks and running backs. So now we back in the mix, and this is the one wide receiver award I missed out on.
Really?
The one. All right, and like you said, you can go to NFL.com/FedEx, but man, I would have loved to have been a part of this, because we got to get wide receivers back in the mix. We got to get those guys going again. And you can vote, the fans, they can vote every Monday through Wednesday. I think we have Jordan Love, Caleb Williams on this one. Couple more guys, Sean Tucker, Joe Mixon. It's just Jared Goff.
Wow.
All of them, but where are the wide receivers? We're important. We are just as important as the quarterback, because I always try to think of myself as being an extension of the quarterback. The quarterback is going to release the ball. The receiver got to make the catch, and the receiver can run it to the end zone, or but the most important thing is to make that reception.
Yeah. Well, look, you did it better than anybody. You're the all-time receptions leader, yardage leader, and I can rattle off all of your accolades and honors and achievements. But most of all, one of the best achievements, in my opinion, is that you came from an HBCU, right? And you came from Mississippi Valley State. And now I understand FedEx and they are helping to support the HBCUs each week with this award.
Yeah, and which is good, because if you are a winner, you get a $2,000 donation. But I love what FedEx is doing overall, because they give $100,000 towards scholarships for students every year. And coming from an HBCU, man, it's just something I will never forget, and I still get excited when I talk about it, because I remember the Battle of the Bands and all of that stuff. And it was just like, man, it was so exciting filling up the stadium. And the game that we had against Alcorn in Jackson, Mississippi, I think it was over 70,000 people or more at that football game.
Yeah.
So, it's like, HBCUs, I'm very happy to carry on that torch be a part of, something that I'll never forget, and just being there at Mississippi Valley State University.
Yeah. Look, Jerry, you were a part of something special. You, Willie Totten, as well as your old former ball coach, Coach Cooley, who passed away this past April. Talk about his legacy and what he's been able to do for you in your life and put you at this spot even after football.
God, my God. With Archie Cooley, Archie gave me an opportunity to do something really special at Mississippi Valley State. He was also like a father to me. He was this guy that wore this cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And
the old gunslinger.
Yeah, the old gunslinger. But we knew that if he was on the football field, or if we were on the road traveling or whatever, he was going to put you in a position to win.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted to do. But he wanted you to win, but he wanted to make men out of you. And he wanted you to be able to go out in this world and represent it the right way. And I learned so much from him, just being around him. And I think he was that key component that actually helped me to get drafted by the San Francisco 49ers.
Okay.
Because we were doing outstanding things at Mississippi Valley State University. We were putting up numbers like crazy. The awareness came there, and then the opportunity, where I got drafted in the first round, 16th player taken by the greatest franchise ever, the San Francisco 49ers. I think it had a lot to do with Archie Cooley and also Mississippi Valley State University.
It definitely. You guys were averaging what, 50, almost 50 points or more a game?
It was crazy. It was crazy. The ball was in the air like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And it was just putting up numbers like crazy, man. And I remember Willie the Satellite, Todd, and then you had Archie the gunslinger, the gunslinger. Then you had they called me Jerry the World Rice. I'm like
you were the world, and you still were the world after.
We were having such a great time, though, man. And I think we represented the HBCU the right way, and I was so proud to be able to go on and still till today, when people think about me, they think about Mississippi Valley State University, HBCU, small school.
Right.
And I think it sent a message that you can't go to smaller schools like that and still move on, get an education, move on. And if you pursuing sports or something like that, where you can excel.
Not only that, Jerry, I remember 3 seasons ago, you and I had this conversation about Deion Sanders and what Coach Prime was doing at Jackson State University. But you also set the world on fire because they wanted to know, just like I asked the question, had you ever considered coaching? And you said at that time you kind of thought about it. And since then, we haven't heard much about if that's what you want to do. And there's a need to have guys like you. You look at the NFL, former guys like Eddie Robinson Jr., Coach Chris Dishman, Bubba McDowell, Eddie George. All those guys are very successful with HBCU programs. Can we get you to
you always put that pressure on me? But you try to put that pressure on me.
I am.
You know what my answer is? I'm always going to support the HBCU. I'm always going to do that. But I poured 20 years or maybe 30 years of football into my life.
Yeah.
And it's just that I don't think I have that commitment to do that. Gotcha. Now, if like guys like Deion, Eddie George, and stuff like that, I applaud those guys, and I'm always going to be supportive and stuff like that. But I think I left over 30 years. I put over 30 years into it, and now I got other things that I really want to focus on, and I don't think I can just fit all of that into my circle.
Okay,
but I'm still HBCU, and I love it.
All right, last question. Goat Fuel, how's everything progressing there? And you guys have that great energy drink. I'm still supporting you guys here. You see my Goat Fuel hat.
Yeah, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, so talk about that before we get off.
This is Goat Fuel, the greatest of all time. I think the thing is, man, and I wanted this to be for everyone. Anyone that's inspired to be great on that given day. Anyone that's out there and giving it 100%. And the concept Goat Fuel, it's the greatest of all time. But it could be an entrepreneur, it could be a frontline worker, it could be a doctor, lawyer, it could be what you're doing. Anyone that's that want to be great, and we're doing great. We're doing fantastic. We're expanding. We're growing. My daughter, she's the CEO, and I just try to stay out of her way and let her just get it done. But this is it's a difficult task, but it keeps me up at night. But it challenged me, and I think it was the same way in football. It kept me up at night. It challenged me, but it brought out the best in me, and that's what I'm doing with Go Fuel.
Well, I appreciate you always, Jerry, and it's good to talk with you once again. But thank you for everything, and on the behalf of the NFL, FedEx Player, Air, and Ground Player of the Week, we're going to get some more of those wide receivers in there, right?
All right. Sounds good, brother. You have a good one, all right?
All right. That's Jerry Rice. I'm Kyle T. Mosley. Thank you very much, Jerry. Take care.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Hey, it's Jared. Let me show you how I created my dorm room vibe for less with Amazon. I have tons of different clothes. I have some pajama pants, more pajama pants. People say I have too much. I don't really listen to people. I love to journal. I got my gratitude journal, I got my mantra journal, and I got my 5-minute journal. And I got a package from Amazon. Let's see what we got for today. This is perfect. This is my journal that I journal about journaling. Dear Diary, I wish I had more PJs.
Amazon fall favorites are here. Save on fashion, home, beauty, and more. Shop Amazon fall favorites now.
When I push, I feel good. When I push, I feel good. When I push. You better move. I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good. When I push. When I push, I feel good. When I pull, I feel good.
All right, guys. All right, Saints fans and Who-Dats from all over the world. It's Kyle T. Mosley here with Bob Rose of the Bayou Blitz. What's going on, Bob?
Fatigued from last night's game, but other than that, life is good. I hope everything is good down there with you.
Man. Everything is great, man. We are here with two special guests. Well, one you know very well. The other one, he used to patrol up in the monsters of the Midway up there. Man, we have Mr. Spice Adams and Mark Ingram II. What's going on, guys?
What's happening? How you doing, bro? Yeah.
All right.
How you doing,
welcome.
Bro? All good.
Doing good, man. Mark, last time I saw you, you and Drew were out there giving the chant to everybody for the big Superdome opening, and it was great to see you. But right now, you have a campaign with Tide, and those guys are tackling some mess. What's happening there?
I mean, I'm here with Tide. I'm here with Spice, and we tackling stains. Quite frankly, man, you know, he was tackling human beings his whole life, and now he's tackling stains with Tide. You know what I mean? And when you saw me, I was doing the Who Dat chant with Drew. But prior to that, I was with the Who Dats. No one does game day like the Who Dats, and you know this. And no one's tackles stains like the Tides. So, and no one's tackles stains like the Tide. So, I had a great time down there in New Orleans, tailgating with my boy Spice. He had a whole second line behind him. We was eating po' boys, beignets. We was doing all that. His Saints Who Dat jersey got a little messy, so obviously we had the Tide pods on deck. You know what I mean? And it's nothing like being in Who Dat Nation and spending some time with Tide, man. Tackling stands with Tide. So it was a great time being in Who Dat Nation. Always great going back to New Orleans. His home, his family, his love, and so is Tide. So two best of both worlds.
Definitely. Spice, talk about the partnership that you guys have with Tide.
Well, it's dope because us as players, like we always ride past the tailgates and we look over and we see everybody in their RV, we see everybody having a good time. We're like, oh, okay, that's cool. But to actually be a part of it, man, it's just great, man. And Tide, the campaign to celebrate fans' tailgate rituals and activities and customs and cuisines and all of that stuff. And, you know, we've been to Buffalo, Kansas City, and New Orleans, of course. And Buffalo, you know, they got different traditions with pizza, with buffalo wings, and Kansas City, of course, has ribs and all type of barbecue. And then New Orleans, they got the beignets and the gumbo and everything like that. And everything is celebrated with Tide. And at the tailgate, you know, everybody's gonna get messy. Like people gonna get ketchup on their jerseys and shirts and barbecue sauce and gumbo sauce. Yeah, just everything, man. And so, since Mark is already Road Tide, it makes sense for Mark to be a part of the Tide campaign, and we just go out and give out Tide pies to everybody to make sure everybody's clean, man. So it's a fun thing to be a part of, man. I'm excited to be a part of it.
Mark, I got to throw a little shade at you. I think the Road Tide
it's all good. You and everybody else. Be original. You and everybody else. Let's be original today.
No, in all fairness, man, that you know, you have been one of the most favorite people of all in the Who Dat Nation. We love you, still love you, everything that you've been able to do. And I know right now it's a tough time for your boys out there, losing 3 straight games. Talk a little bit about how does a team rebound from that?
Well, they start out the season just on such a high note, you know, two big wins, and to have, you know, 3 losses and close games, like it's just within the locker room, within the team, like just stay together. You have what you need to be able to finish these games and win these games. But there's always, when you go back on Mondays and you look, or today, Tuesday for the Saints matter last night, there's always a handful of games, a handful of plays that you can point your finger on and be like, okay, if we had done this, the outcome could have been different. If we would have been here, made this tackle, the outcome could have been different. If we would have made this block, made this catch, the outcome could have been different. So it's not like we just have to clean the whole thing and burn the whole place down. No, both of these games, the 3 games that we've lost, man, it's been very close. And there's plays that are critical to the outcome of games, and we just have to focus on that. Be sharp with the details, be sharp with the fundamentals, and just make sure everyone stays together. That's the main thing in the locker room, making sure the team stays together, make sure the coach staff stays together, make sure everyone's believing in one another and not pointing a finger. So I know that's the culture of the locker room because I know the leaders that are in the locker room. I know they're going to do that. I know they're going to bounce back. They have a tough divisional game coming up Sunday against the Bucks. So we can get right back on the right page on Sunday. So that's the good thing about football. You can flush it and move on to the next one. I know everyone in that locker room can't wait to play on Sunday.
Back to another episode of Second and Saints. I almost fumbled the intro, man. You have Josh Jackson here with myself, John Hendricks. Man, what a mess. What a mess tonight was. Well, it's technically 1:20 in the morning on Friday, but golly, this game sucked. I mean, it was bad. It's probably one of the worst ones I've sat through, and I don't know. I can't come to mind to think of one. Like, I know 21 was bad for a lot of reasons, but golly, this was just awful. Like,
yeah. It's one thing when you're in a situation where, like, you know, you're dealing with like a bunch of COVID absences and stuff like that, and you're like 3 deep all the way across the roster. But this is a game that was still a lot of draft picks, still a lot of, you know, free agent signings, like these guys that weren't just like elevated. You know, I think it was that Ian Book game. There were like a couple positions, or maybe it was only one, but I know there was like a position where somebody was like signed the same day or something like that, and then had to play everything. That wasn't this, right? Like, this was a short week of practice, but still you had practice, you had everybody together, all this other stuff, and then you come out there and you lay an egg, with the exception of a, you know, field goal and a garbage time touchdown. Like, oh man.
Yeah, I mean, and look, it's you know, I think when you look at this game and you see in the locker room, like, I guess for starters, I appreciated that the leaders were around to talk. Alvin Kamara keeps it real, and he obviously had said a couple of comments saying, you know, look, he'd never seen the Superdome clear out like that in 8 years he's played here, and obviously if he was a fan, he'd be fed up too. And the thing is, he also said some of the guys there, it's like they played flat, and he's like, it wasn't Thursday Night Football, it was just a Thursday game is how they came out and played. Like, that was pretty telling in my opinion. I mean, shoot, you could just pick an area. This team was just a mess. They were a tragedy. I mean, this was just a train wreck. I mean, it doesn't matter how you label it. It was bad. Offensively, they couldn't get anything going. Defensively, they still couldn't tackle. They still couldn't stop some things. It just, and of course, Dennis Allen says they couldn't play complementary football. And we've talked plenty about when they can't do that, they can't win. And so, you know, look, I don't even know where you go to start breaking down a loss like this. I mean, it's all bad, but kind of your initial thoughts on how bad this travesty was tonight.
Yeah, I think you have to start where everybody wants to start right now, and it's the coach. Like, where do you go from here? And look, I think you and I are on the same boat that I don't think the Saints make any coaching changes in season. That's just not. This doesn't feel like something that they do.
Keisha, you want to go first?
No, that's fine. He said Jackson State and FAMU, so you can go first. I'm going to talk about Southern. You can talk about your school.
Okay, I will go ahead. So I think, Cal, when you look at this game, obviously this in the last couple of years, this has been one of the games that has decided who was going to win the SWAC East, and obviously FAMU has went on to win the SWAC championship. But I think on Saturday, this game specifically this year is going to come down to which team is going to be able to control the line of scrimmage up front. And I think if you are FAMU, you definitely want to make sure if you're FAMU, you want to be able to protect Daniel Richardson, because I can guarantee you that TC Taylor and that defense from Jackson State is probably going to be dialing up pressure from off the edge and up front to essentially try to slow him down some. And I think this is going to be a FAMU team that's going to be required to run the ball more. I think this year they've it's not saying they haven't ran the ball, but I think they're going to be required to run the ball a little bit more, because I think some of the plays that Daniel Richardson has been able to do, obviously passing from the pocket and or extending plays with his legs off to the edges, I think that might be limited a little bit. And I think if you're Jackson State, if it was ever a time that you truly needed to be able to run the ball, it would be this Saturday, because obviously the Rattlers haven't been as strong in stopping the run. But as far as like in the secondary, I think it could pose some challenges for Jacobian Morgan and Jackson State. Not saying he won't have a good game, because I think he will, but I think that if it was ever a time where we've seen in numerous weeks where Jackson State's running game has played a big factor, this will be a big factor in them being able to run the ball. And I think the last thing will be special teams on both parts. Both teams have great punters. Both teams have great specialists. They can return punts and or kicks for touchdowns. Obviously, we've seen Jamar Gassett do it for FAMU, and we've also seen Travis Terrell do it for Jackson State. So it's going to be a good game. But like I said, I think it solely comes down to which team is able to get pressure on opposing quarterbacks, which team is able to stop the run, and who's able